misinformation, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind, in the darkness all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be. For justice wheels keep turning, granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When pennies crime busters run, no victims left in vain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight? Hello, Lori. Hello, Ginger Girl. Good to see everybody. Those of you who are in the bushes, happy Saturday. I hope everybody that was in the States had a good 4th of July. Awesome. All right, so let's start with our spotlight on the missing. Today we have Taylor Marie Carter. Went missing on July 3rd, guys. Last seen in Newport News, Virginia. 16-year-old female. She was last seen wearing a royal blue hoodie, dark leggings, and white black slides. She has her ears and her nose pierced. If anybody knows where she may be or anything about her disappearance, please call the Newport News Police Department or 911. We need to bring our kids home. Let's not forget about Jonathan Huang, 21-year-old autistic male, missing since March 30th, I believe. They're still searching Kirkland, Washington, where they believe that they saw him, according to this recent footage on a ring cam. So he is high functioning. He does respond to his name, but he presents himself as a 10-year-old. He's not able to take care of himself, guys. So he needs to be brought home. Let's not forget about the $500,000 reward for Sebastian Rogers. This guy needs to be brought home. My heart just goes out to his dad. Another holiday without his son. It's got to be horrific. And let's put our thoughts and prayers into the FBI taking over the case, because that's what needs to happen in this case, guys. Also, Travis Decker is still on the loose. They don't know if he's alive or if he's deceased, but his body needs to be found either way. If anyone does see him, do not approach. He's armed and dangerous. He's wanted for 3 counts of taking the lives of his 3 children and for first-degree kidnapping. He could look like any of these pictures. The last ring cam picture had him kind of like at the top left with a cap, long hair, ponytail, mustache, and beard. And he's wanted for taking the lives of his 3 children seen here with their mother, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia. All right. How's everybody doing? All right. Hi, JDR. Good to see you. Hello, Brenda Joe. I'm glad you made it home. Everybody keep Brenda in your prayers. She's still not feeling well. Factory Girl, hello. All right. So tonight we are talking about Jack and Lily. Guys, it seems like every time I turn around, we've got another relative speaking up or doing something, right? Now we've got Malehya's half-sister wanting to talk. Her name is Haley. And actually, Mike, the man, kind of went over it. So I thought we'd just kill two birds with one stone. We'll look at this, the statement analysis while we're listening to Tanya speak, or while we're listening to her speak. Yes. Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, JDR, but quite a while ago, Hong from At Night said that, amongst their tips and their investigation, they had actually sent information to the TBI because it looked like they found evidence that she was still alive. So, I don't know where that evidence, I know they turned it in. I don't know, what happened with that, but could be. Yeah, another cousin or relative shows up out of the woodwork. It's just crazy. So, I mean, that would be awesome if Summer's found after all this time, right? It would be incredible. I would just love that. If that was the case, it would be incredible. Let's go ahead and get started with Mike the Man. Okay.
What had happened with
Uh-oh. I know as much as everybody else about what happened. Uh-oh. You know a lot more. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel the need to tell us that. Otherwise, you would tell us what you know. Simply tell us what you know and don't tell us what you do not know. That's expected when somebody has some information. And there's absolutely no way on earth that you know only as much as the general public, because you know Malehya, and Malehya was deceptive. So being deceptive on somebody else's behalf is a little bit different than just being straight up deceptive on your own. You can always hide and say, well, I'm not going to get into this because Malehya needs privacy. Cheryl done this very well. And so obviously these two women, Haley and Cheryl, they are not on trial here. They are not persons of interest. So maybe they enjoy the spotlight a little bit too. And they don't have anything to lose here, really. I mean, yeah, maybe people will talk at them on Facebook and say, how can you defend somebody who knows blah, 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 blah. But no, I think as long as there is not a personal accusation, it is a lot easier to handle this type of publicity. And so I am looking at every single angle, and I believe both of them enjoy the public attention to some degree. And
that might be true. Maybe they both do enjoy the public attention. By the way, this is a sister. Her name is Haley Ferdinand. But here's my thought. He said they don't have anything to lose. Well, they could. If they're telling outright lies, if they're telling things they shouldn't be telling, I mean, they could get it for obstruction of justice, guys. So, they could have something to lose. See what everybody's saying. Hello, Sandra. Good to see you. So I kind of disagree with them on that point. I know Mike is a firm believer in just speak your truth. Just not speak your truth. I didn't mean to say it like that. Just speak. Tell it like it is. Just say what you believe and tell the truth at all times. And I get that. I mean, I agree with morals and integrity, that kind of thing. But sometimes I think, it's better not to speak. I guess, my mom always taught me, if you don't have anything nice to say, maybe you shouldn't say it, right? So, and I kind of agree with that philosophy, right? As far as treating people how how you would want to be treated, if versus lying about things, right? No, I'm not saying that Haley is lying. I'm not saying Cheryl was lying. I'm just saying that it's interesting that they're coming out. Maybe they feel the need to defend Malehya. I don't know. It is unlikely they would not be charged with anything because I feel in any case people like to keep talking. The thing is, Canada's laws are different than the states. And you can't just say anything you want in Canada. And Ginger, correct me if I'm wrong. Well, if enough people keep showing up, we just might find out what happened to Jack and Lily. Yeah. Darren did an interview with the CBC. Janie is doing a phone interview with the CBC on Tuesday or Wednesday. More coming soon. Okay. I know that it has been said that let them all come out of the woodwork and let them all talk, and sooner or later maybe the truth will come out. And I don't know why, but that bothers me a little bit. Do we want the truth? Of course we absolutely do. But do we on social media need to be a catalyst in that? That, I don't know. Something about that just bothers me really bad. Hello, Melissa. That's what I thought. The Charter of Rights, but no freedom of speech. And the RCMP have been saying from the beginning that, that they were watching social media and people need to be careful. Thank you, Lori. For all the people that are coming out now, it really is not helping anyone. It's causing chaos and it's all going to be biased. Yes. To say, let them all come out, let it all be, then somehow maybe we'll get the truth. Everybody's going to be biased. All you're going to have is drama and people defending and fighting over what they believe the truth is, right? The truth. But let's continue on.
What is frightening in both cases is the lack of concern for Jack and Lily. So in Cheryl's case, I can tell she is not expecting Jack and Lily to be alive and to come back. And I believe she knows a lot more than the general public in terms of what had taken place. And what Malehya exactly told them, well, maybe everything, maybe she hinted, and maybe she had her own way of telling them, listen, and maybe they have a whatever form of communication. They know each other for a very long time, but they are, both of them, now especially Haley, wants to get back at Logan because how she talked Cheryl down. I believe they're upset. I believe it's a personal thing now. And we have Camp Malehya and Camp Daniel. And we need to look at both from the same angle, meaning we assume they know nothing, but we allow ourselves to let them talk us out of it. And they are. Both of them, both camps know a lot more than they are saying. So there's avoidance on both parts. So there's no need to take either part. Doesn't matter if, we like Logan less than Cheryl, but the bottom line.
Granny, I'm sick of all those so-called adults more interested in defending their own. They hardly mention the children. I agree with you, Lori. I agree with you. The kids are getting lost in this drama, is my opinion. I don't see how finding the children, is going to happen in this mess. I really don't. Why do they need to defend themselves? And that's the key way. So they're worried about defending themselves instead of trying to find Jack and Lily, or trying to find the truth of what happened to Jack and Lily. Why are they defending themselves? It goes back to Chris and Katie. What did they do on all of their mainstream videos? They talked about themselves more than anything else, and how everybody's talking about them and it's all bad, and it's horrible. It is. I really feel it is distracting. It's leading away from the children. It's not. I don't think this is the answer to get the truth. Because what's going to happen if Daniel's guilty, then and say, look at, I got people defending me. I'm a good parent. I'm a good guy. They'll never figure it out now. Or if Malehya is guilty, I've got people defending me. Finally, they'll combat what Daniel's trying to say about me so that nobody will ever figure anything out, right? It's only going to make them, in my opinion, dig in harder. Yes, the same mudslinging. Yes. Here, I'm just going to go out and say it. So, what she said, the altercation was about, was that Daniel went into the bathroom. They were all in the trailer. Daniel, and this was on Saturday, the day after the kids went missing. And they could hear him rummaging around in there. And then they kind of cut him short and said somebody had to go to the bathroom. I don't remember who it was. It doesn't really matter. That person went in and found, allegedly, some rugs. So, allegedly, that was what the first confrontation was about. We've all kind of wondered if that wasn't an issue. We wondered if something happened to the kids. Did they get into some kind of chemical? Did they get bit by a dog or mauled by a dog, I should say? No. Did they get into some rugs? We are told we have freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, but we have a government that does not abide by those rights. This is not news. We all know it. It is spoken of and fought for here. Well, you may all know it, but you have to remember that not everybody in the States knows it, Sandra. I didn't know it before this case, so that's why I bring it up. And honestly, we may say we have freedom of speech, but here in the States, but that's kind of an issue too, isn't it? So, and that was mostly the reason why I wanted to talk about Haley today, because she's the one that brought that up. She was there. Is she telling the truth? I don't know, guys. Right? I mean, the kids are remaining lost. If they do this in public, imagine behind the scenes. Well, I mean, it blows my mind that there was not just one, but two altercations when between families when children are missing. As a bystander, just say I'm standing back looking at all this, say I was there and I'm just standing back looking at all this. My first thought would be, and and it makes sense to me now why RCMP stopped searching after a week, but I'd be looking like, okay, who did what? That would, I'd be standing back going, okay, who did what? What did you guys do to these poor children? You need to fess up now, because I'm just saying, you don't have, excuse my language, pissing matches when there's searches going on for missing children. Maybe Malehya is scared to talk because Daniel and his family are involved with dangerous people. If drugs are involved and threaten Malehya. I mean, all of that's a possibility. But I'll tell you what, if you know, we have said before that Malehya has some kind of guilty knowledge. And if any of that guilty knowledge is she knows what happened to those kids, then she should be speaking up. Not to the public, not to YouTubers, to the RCMP. Okay? Because that is her responsibility as a mother. Regardless of if they're dangerous people or not. If they're dangerous people, either the RCMP or First Nation will protect her. I look at everything. Why did Malehya's family never visit her or the kids before now? Maybe they did, but I'm sure they would have seen the living. Okay, so according to some of the what do I want to say? Some of the text messages between Malehya and Belinda, Daniel didn't want anybody out there. And he didn't want her going to see them either. Now, was she having issues with her mother? I don't know. Right? We don't know. I'm not going to take Daniel's word for it. So, hi, Neuro. Good to see you. Callie G. Good to see you. Gil. But yeah, I mean, when you think about all that, that having altercations outside where anybody can, or even inside where anybody can hear, because people can hear through trailer walls. They're right outside the door, or especially if they're shouting in the trailer. I don't know where the altercations happen, but it doesn't matter. Why? Why are they fighting when they should be looking for the kids? What was going on? Yeah. Yeah. If it was that, it's scary. It's scary. No worries, Sandra. No worries. Yeah. We're all right here. He was paranoid. He didn't want people to see the place, how they lived, what the kids were living in. Exactly. And why was he paranoid? What makes you paranoid? Gee, could it be rugs? Guys, that's a known fact. Anybody on rugs gets paranoid. And wasn't that the downfall of Sebastian Rogers' case? They're all doing social media. That's why I say, guys, I do not go along with this. Let anybody can come and speak and, and just, I'm not even going to say it, but anyway, because yeah, they can all come out and then eventually the truth will come out. No. And that is why, and we've gone over it, that's why I don't invite family members to come up here, because guys, it causes problems. It has caused problems in Sebastian Rogers' case big time. Not only did it cause problems, it caused cease and desist and lawsuits and just outright slander and hatred that's still going on today. How many, what is it? We're March, April, May, June, July, 17 months in from Sebastian's case. So it's wrong. Do we all want to hear what everybody's saying? Of course we do. Does it make for good clicks and views? Of course it does. Does it help the channel grow? Of course it does. But is it what's best for the case? I don't think it is. I understand now how he passed a rug test, because that stuff leaves the system quickly. Malehya looks like she was using as well. I just can't get rug addicts and potholes and too beautiful. Just children are missing. It's traffic. That kind of rug turns people into freaks. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it changes their looks and everything. That kind of rugs. It's awful. Exactly, Factory Girl. And when the feet talked about Sebastian, they demeaned him. Yep. That's right, you can. They've all got motives. That's correct. That's correct. Rug injection is becoming a common way of accidental deaths in children, but 2 of them I don't see that. And you mean ingestion? Yeah. I do see that, Neural. And the reason that I see that is because children will share. They'll mimic each other, especially that age. 6 and 4, yeah, easily. Maybe big sister gets into something because she's seen mommy or Daniel doing it. And Jack comes over. That's what I think. Yeah. And here's the thing, guys. Yeah. That's what I thought you meant, Neuro. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what happened, whether it was rug ingestion, no matter what. It's better to come clean sooner rather than later. You're going to be in trouble either way. But my goodness, right? Just be done with it. Don't let, because this isn't going to go away. If they think that social media is going to shut up, they've got another thing coming. It may wane down a little bit, like Sebastian's case is waned down a little bit, but I tell you what, people have not forgotten. Nobody has forgotten Sebastian. Nobody has forgotten Summer Wells. It's not going to go away. You know what else isn't going to go away? The guilt that is terrorizing them from the inside out is not going to go away. Malehya did tell her stepsister that Ruggs has been a problem for Daniel for the past 2 years. Why did she move in with him then? Hello, Regdor. Good to see you. Welcome in. Well, you know what? They're easily accessible everywhere, Regdor. They really are. I mean, I live in a little town of 8,000, and on the street where my parents had bought their ranch home, which is still a nice area in this little town of 8,000, needles laying by the curbs. You know, they're accessible anywhere now. My big sister fed me medicine when we were that age, stomachs pumped. See what I'm saying? That's a good example. I'm sorry that happened to you, Gil. That was probably a lesson you learned that you'll never do again, I'm sure. But that is exactly what I'm talking about. Kids will mimic or, yes, feed each other, whatever, right? Yes, addiction is a lifelong struggle. It's like alcoholism. Same thing. They're both addiction, whether it's drugs or alcohol. And you're always an addict. You may be a clean addict for however many months or years, but you're always an addict because all it takes is going back to it once. Gotcha. Good for you, Gil. That's awesome. I don't understand. Malehya left husband over Ruggs. Maybe he kept it from her until she was pregnant. Well, and guys, we all know that when you've been a victim of DV, you you have a certain type and you pick that type. You know, it's Daniel's divorce happened due to his addiction. He got help but relapsed when Malehya moved into that trailer. Could be. Right. You know, and the thing is you know, like Gil, you know that, right? And that's what keeps you sober, right? If you ever deny that within yourself, then it's easier to fall back. I have been to Al-Anon so many times. Because my husband is an alcoholic. Her self-esteem was low. Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, in what I see of Malehya, the little bit that we've seen of Malehya, she seems very soft-spoken, very unsure of herself. I think low self-esteem. She talks, I think she's an introvert. She talks very softly. You know, that's the way that I see her. Could I be wrong? Yes, I could be. No doubt about it, right? But let's go ahead and listen to what Mike has to say. She is beautiful. She could do so much better. And she could have done something with her life. But I think it's almost too late now, Callie. I think that well, I'm not going to say it's too late. I shouldn't have said that. She needs to come clean about whatever it is she knows and face the consequences and do something to turn her life around. Heroin, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. And from everything I've heard, this new stuff is horrible. No one is saying that her looks have anything to do with her situation. Nobody's saying that, Regdor. It's a choice that she's made that's got her in the situation she's in, not her looks. But yes, self-esteem, self-image, to choose, that's a known fact. Your self-esteem, your self-image, not your looks, the way that you look at yourself is how you pick people to be in your life. And if you don't think highly of yourself, you're not going to pick someone who's got everything together. I disagree. I disagree with you. I was a mother with 2 children, and trust me, guys weren't turned off by that. Exactly, Ginger. Depends on the motive of the man or um or how sincere they are. If if they love children, they're not going to be bothered by that. Yes. I thought she looked scared and anxious too. No, I am living proof, Regner, that you're wrong. That's all I can say about that. I'm sorry. Have to agree to disagree with you on that because I am living proof. After I got out of my DV relationship with my husband, I had 2 little girls. One wasn't even a year old yet, and one was 5 years old. Guys were lined up outside my door. I had several marriage proposals. They were not turned off. So I'm just saying. Exactly, Gil. You meet the scum of the earth, especially if you sell rugs. Yes, I agree. All right, let's continue on with Mike's.
They're not giving us the information that they have.
Children, right? So
I know as much as everybody else. No, you don't. You know a lot more. What had happened with the children, not to the children. That's interesting. With the children. What are their names? Let's see if she shows us concern for the children.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
and see how she all of a sudden changes her tone and is no longer dismissive like she was with Cheryl, taking Logan's side, right? She realizes now, oh, okay, this is the real deal, and I'm having a gold mine here because these people are coming on, and now let them argue with each other or to each other or at each other on my channel. So she is now sucking up equally to this woman as she was to Logan.
tragedy. And I think that
it's a tragedy. What are you talking about? You know the kids are no longer alive? Then say it. When a child is missing and you don't know what's going on, you don't say it's a tragedy. You don't talk about grief and sorrow. But look at her right now. She is adapting to the language of Camp Malehya. And it's especially Malehya's first and only interview where she talked about grief and sorrow. So these moderators usually know they don't believe necessarily what they are saying, how they present themselves, and they flip-flop all of the time, depending on who the guest is here. And that, of course, is said by Susan, who is running the show here. And now let's see what's going on.
Adds to it is the time that has gone on, right? That just simply adds to the stress. I mean, if the police
also stress. I mean, man, look at people who really miss their children and want answers. Look at the relentlessness even of John Walsh. It was a long time ago, yes, but that case always stands out to me. Look at, what's his name? Dylan Ehlers, Jason Ehlers, the father, how he says, I can only be friends with people who help me be boots on the ground and continue to search for my son. But again, there I still don't understand. The dog hit on one spot and they didn't search that spot. It was in the water. So Jason, if you're listening, that spot, man, you should go back there and just dig in the water. I don't know if it's still there, what the dog hit on. Maybe something is, well, it's too late probably, right? But when a dog hits at something, you want to not let go. The same way that the dog jumped into the pool, into the retention pond close to the house of Sebastian Rogers. You don't want to ignore this.
would figure out or could figure out what happened. And, you know, Lily and Jacques could be found. It would give people a sense of, at least everybody would know what happened, right?
Well, yeah, it's to the point where it's 2 months too long. As family, like we're hurting over this. Like it's
We are hurting. Are the children hurting? Are you concerned about that? We. Her priority.
That is a really good point, Mike. We are hurting. What about the kids? What are they going through? Or what did they go through? Interesting. So let's continue on.
Is only her family that's remaining. Jack and Lily, back burner.
a lot. And I mean, there's been a lot of things going around that's very much misinformation. Like people.
Oh my God, are you these small-minded people? We don't care. There is misinformation and there is also disinformation, in my opinion, from the Darewood character. Disinformation is different than misinformation. Misinformation means you're misinformed and you pass something on as truth that isn't. And disinformation is intentionally misleading people, as has been done by that PI in the case of Sebastian Rogers. That was disinformation, intentionally sidetracking people with something to plant a seed in their minds to let go of the obvious.
I love that one. Way to go, Mike. Yes, and he's making too much of that dog jumping into the pond. Just, yeah. But I love what he said. The PI that put out disinformation in the Sebastian Rogers case. I'm like, oh, he's got it right there. That was funny. I never thought about the fact that those two are different. Misinformation is information where you've been misinformed and you're trying to pass it off as truth. Disinformation is when you purposely been fed information that to throw you off track. That makes sense. I like that. I really like that. So in this case, what do you think the disinformation is, guys? Things that you know what I think? I think the whole Durwood story is disinformation. That maybe even Durwood was fed. The way she's talking is like she knows Lily and Jack are dead and not coming back. She's not interested one bit in looking for the kids. Mike's funny. Yes, he does. And he gets so irritated, doesn't he? It's funny. He just shows his irritation. But yeah, I think the disinformation, I would have called it misinformation. But no, it's disinformation because it was fed to us, wasn't it? It was fed to us. And I don't believe it's true. Could I be wrong? Yes, I could, right? The truth is, until somebody actually tells the truth and RCMP comes out with it, we're not going to know what happened to Jack and Lily. That's a good point, Ginger. They took what the RCMP said serious when they said the children didn't survive. As did I, because I have not heard of law enforcement coming out and saying that so quickly. I think it was the third day in that they said they didn't believe the children could be alive. So, hello, Top Dancer. Welcome in. We're happy to have you. Janie, you mean the disinformation is from Janie? Yeah. They're all planting seeds. I can't trust any of them. Not one has talked more about the children. It's like they don't know anything about them. You know, the only one that's talking about the children is Belinda. She seems to be the only one that cares about what happened with Lily and Jack. Belinda Gray is Jack and Lily's Seth. She's the one person that cares about those kids. You would think so, wouldn't you? Unless she knows where they were placed. In your opinion, Janie's story is disinformation. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's interesting. Now I'm trying to think of what's misinformation in this case. You know, misinformation is like maybe were their boots put on or were they taken with them, right? That's kind of misinformation because Daniel actually said they took their boots, not that they had their boots on, right? They took their boots. So that's kind of like misinformation. That's not disinformation. Belinda is the only one you trust. Seriously, I mean, she really is showing that she's got nothing to hide. I do question why she's putting out these texts with her and Daniel and with her and Malehya. If I were in her shoes, I wouldn't be doing it. The other thing that she said that I'm, you know, and I understand why she wants it, but I just don't think it's good. She thinks that anyone should speak what they know, you know, that they should just tell so that she can know what happened. But and she said, I don't care, you know, RCMP shouldn't care what comes out as long as it comes out. Well, no, because it can affect any kind of criminal case. You know, there is evidence that can affect a criminal case. So no, there is some things that shouldn't come out to the public. And so, but I understand she wants to know everything. They're her grandbabies. I get it. But she is really the only one that is fighting for these babies. Misinformation is this timeline stuff. Yeah. Janie's story. We talked about it, Lori. She stated that she was, well, I mean, through Mr. Bewitch, she stated that she got up or she heard Lily and Jack. And so she got up, started putting her boots on. By the time she got outside, Malehya was standing in the driveway with baby Meadow, and she asked Malehya where the kids were, and Malehya said in the woods. So I don't know whether that's true or not. I think it's disinformation. The accident ingestion seems to fit with the latest statement more and more, right? More and more, it seems like some kind of an accident happened because if you think about it, Mr. Yummy And I think Mike even said, I don't know for sure, but the consensus is that they have guilty knowledge, Malehya and Daniel, but they're not red rummers. So it seems to me like it's some kind of an accident that they ended up covering up, in my opinion. I think Ruggs is a really good possibility. Could have been abducted because of Ruggs. I don't know. I mean, anything's a possibility at this point. I just don't know if I believe that. Janie has been speaking in Facebook chats and to some YouTube creators. I was shocked to find out she can't see her grandchildren. Why would that be? Yes. I saw that too. She has actually stated that she cannot see her grandchildren. Kind of weird. She didn't exactly say neural. I saw the text. She said, she made it sound like it was CPS though. Exactly. Janie's story covers blame game Daniel. I agree. I think she's trying to cover for Daniel, but even Janie and Daniel's stories don't match. So, my opinion, they're not doing a very good job of scripting things out. Belinda does not need a warrant to publish communications from or to anyone. Police would need a search warrant or, as in judicial order, to search someone's iPhones or snail mail or communications. No, I didn't say she needed a warrant, JDR. That was not where I was going with that. At all. Not at all. I'm just questioning why she would put that information out there. It was private communication between her and the other person, so putting it out there for everybody to see, I don't know. I mean, let's just say it's, as a grandma, as a granny, it's not something I would do. But all I'm saying is I kind of questioned why she did it. Not that she needed a warrant to do it. I never felt she did. That could be. It might be CPS if the rugs were found. Was that what was in her cupboard? Is she on rugs too? Not unusual. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she just shows up in chats. Yep, we actually were, weren't we? We were talking about ingesting rugs and chemicals, and then more recently, mauling from a dog, right? Daniel exhibited classic Duper's delight. Yeah. I got away with it. Yeah. Yeah, doesn't it feels like that, doesn't it, Ginger? They're all gaslighting us. And it's like I said earlier, this isn't going to go away. So, you know, especially think about this, guys. If it was a cover up, the longer it goes on, the more it's costing the province, the worse it's going to be for them. They've already got the biggest search in Canadian history, right? Or Nova Scotia history. I don't know which it is, but anyway, I heard that said. So imagine the cost of that. They're going to be responsible for all that if they're found guilty. I agree. She's desperate. She wants, yeah. And she's got nothing to hide. I think that's the biggest thing, right? She's showing that she has nothing to hide. I get that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to, say Belinda's done anything wrong. I've just questioned why she's done a couple things, but she is the only one advocating for these poor children and making it all about them, right? And nobody else in this case is doing that. Right. And maybe she had Daniel's consent. I don't know. Did she have Malehya's? I don't know. She could have had both of them. I don't know. Being in worse trouble, worse than Red Rum. I don't think it'd be worse than Red Rum, but be very close to it. Who's next to come out of the well, we haven't heard from Justin yet. What's Malehya's mom's name? We haven't heard from her yet. Yeah. And you know what? No wonder he can't keep his story straight. I mean, if you're on Rugs, you're not going to be able to keep a script straight. Yeah. I've gone in a little bit to look at a group page about them. They get, they get so nasty in them groups. It's horrible. So, and you guys know me, I just try to stay away from that garbage. Yeah. JDR, it'd be one thing if the money being spent on the search and the investigation led to them being found alive. And, that'd be one thing. But when it seems like a cover up, I don't know. Or at the hand of the parents or parents' knowledge. I mean, just it's not a good thing. Well, he was tested for Rugs. They said he said that RCMP said they're not worried about it. whatever that means. Yeah, Belinda said Daniel telling her about his search sounded too scripted. Yes, it was word for word what he had said on a newscast. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Lord help us. Oh Lord help us. What? He needs the money. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. That is so true. That is so true. They would have to do fingerprint nail testing as keeps Google it, yo. Kind of like spaghetti pancakes. Google it, y'all. They do hair sample testing. That's interesting. There's only one way for Malehya to be, and that is to be open with police and leave the drama to Daniel. I agree. Yes. And Daniel actually flipped the script later on. He said it was him asking Malehya, I don't hear the kids anymore. That's because he's using, so he doesn't remember the script. He thought it was him that said that, and it wasn't. Isn't, guys, honestly, if he is trying to get a deal with Netflix, you don't think that our CMP aren't going to be all over him on that one? Oh my goodness. That's horrible. That's horrible. Let's try to finish up here with, I don't know if we'll finish up today, but
People are just wild in the Facebook groups. I've seen
Who cares about that? Your niece and your nephew is missing, you idiot. Oh, these small-minded people, man. And I
quiet.
Thank you, Haley.
I've-
Thank
yeah.
you.
then stay quiet now about it. Show us concern about Jack and Lily.
Like I'm in them, but I stay quiet because I have a son at home that I still need to keep life normal for him, right?
Here, yes, you make it about you. Again, this is about Jack and Lily.
But people are starting to figure out who I am, how I'm connected. So I figured, I would give my peace of mind and what I know because people are starting to message and ask. But,
I wouldn't message you because you are sworn to silence. And there are people who have a higher level of intellect. They tend to talk a little bit more. It's easier for somebody to shut down who in general doesn't have a lot to say because it's something more, it's something closer to home. And it aligns with the pattern a little bit more. And we rarely leave our patterns because when we do, we give ourselves away.
I do just want to touch on a subject, though.
What is the subject? Jack and Lily? Ooh, silly me.
The family altercation that happened in the driveway.
The family altercation. Okay. Now it's all about the family.
Was there for that. So there's a big piece that Logan has.
I really don't give a crap, but I'm going to keep listening and see if something comes that I may be able to. You see? Logan. It's about Logan. So Logan shouted, not shout, sorry, but she shut Cheryl down, talked down to her, completely did the Mean Girls thing, right? Like Logan has a high opinion about herself, man. And the thing about this is that, well, okay, talk to me, Logan. I'm assuming it's her.
Jesus that the bitch is back. Tell Jesus that the bitch is back.
Cool, I tell him.
The girl I used to be, 2017. Honestly, I hardly read.
Okay, thanks, Logan.
What was that about? Exactly. The truth does not change. Facts are facts. You always know the truth on the morning the two children go missing. You wouldn't forget anything. You wouldn't be changing your stories. We have said that to CP and KP, right? Now we're saying it to Daniel and Malehya. Malehya hasn't really changed anything because she hasn't come out and talked, but Daniel. Mike, oh my gosh, it just cracks me up. Oh. I hope I don't get copyrighted for that music that he was playing. Oh my gosh. Oh, I hope he's done with that little episode there, but okay, let's continue on.
Much as everybody else about what had happened with the children, right? So
Yeah. I mean, it's a tragedy. And I think that what adds to it is the time that has gone on, right? That just simply adds to the stress. I mean, if the police would could figure out what happened, and Lily and Jacques could be found, it would give people a sense of at least everybody would know what happened, right?
yeah, it's to the point where it's 2 months too long as family. Like
They were just getting to the good part about the altercation, and he made it go backwards. That's irritating. Well, I kind of agree with the synopsis of her, but that's funny. My trips mean no rugs needed. He's gotten more interesting over time. I don't know if he's starting to do this to get more clicks and views or what he's doing, but he never used to be this funny before. I want to see if I can find her.
We're hurting over this. Like, it's a lot. And I mean, there's been a lot of things going around that's very much misinformation. Like, people are just wild in the Facebook groups. I've stayed quiet.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you.
Like I'm in them, but I stay quiet because I have a son at home that I still need to keep life normal for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people are starting to figure out who I am, how I'm connected. So I figured, I would give my peace of mind and what I know because people are starting to message and ask. But I do just want to touch on a subject though.
Absolutely.
family altercation that happened in the driveway. I was there for that. So there's a big piece that Logan has left out, and I'm ready to share that because we
All right. There we go. Now we're getting to the point. Now we're getting to the reason you're calling in.
all know and have not said anything, but it's a very crucial point that they seem to be skipping over. So this was just before the briefing, if I can remember quite right here. We were all in the house and Dan was in the bathroom. And when I say we, I'm talking about my sister-in-law, her sister.
My sister-in-law, her sister. So they were in the trailer, right?
Malehya's mother, my partner, and we were all in the kitchen and we heard like things rustling around in the bathroom. We're like, what the hell? So my stepmom went and knocked on the door and was like, damn, what's going on? Are you all right? Anyway, my sister-in-law went in and said she needs to use the bathroom. So he came out and he's kind of like hovering.
Haley,
And-
sorry, Haley. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but just because my mind's sort of going.
Is she long-winded or what? All this unnecessary rhetoric. Why don't you get to the point and ask a question? Without introducing your question for a very long time. Are you trying to keep us on for as long as possible or what?
Crazy with trying to figure out and keep people straight. Who is your sister-in-law?
So Shelby,
Okay.
Cheryl,
That voice. Oh my God.
like Cheryl said I was her sister-in-law. It's like confusing, but
Wait, what? What?
No, don't go backwards.
so Shelby,
Okay.
Cheryl said I was her sister-in-law. It's like confusing, but Shelby's with my brother. She's my sister-in-law, and Cheryl is Shelby's sister. So
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, just to get it straight as to who we're talking about so that people in chat sort of know. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway,
so like he was wrestling some things around in the bathroom.
okay.
And we went to kind of investigate after him. And there was drugs. Drugs was involved, and that's what fueled the family altercation in the drug.
Yeah. I mean, my first impression of Daniel was, that aligns with my personal first impression of him. And of course, some people think, yeah, that's just a rumor, but we need to keep these options open here. But with all of the police being around doing drugs, then, yeah, some people would do that. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous sounding, right? Because they had other police dogs there and,
Driveway, and I'll be the one to say that because I got so
I'll be the one to say that because I got so.
freaking mad after this was found out, because then I said to him, I said, that's
Was found out. Who found it out? I want to know.
exactly why you're acting the way you are, running around like a madman, acting like.
Yeah, that's probably also where maybe Malehya, remember? Do you think he could have hurt the children? That's what Belinda said. And she said, I don't know, but he is acting. So maybe their viewpoint is you need to calm the hell down to let this go by, because you're bringing too much attention on not just yourself, but the household in general, how things have been. But now it's green light for them, because the Daniel camp started attacking Malehya's side first. I believe Malehya and Daniel had a good script. No, not a good script, but they had a tight script, a script they both agreed on and both followed too well, which is why when two people say almost the exact same thing, in a case like this is unexpected, because the mother would be expected to have a lot more emotions towards her biological children than the stepfather. That is absolutely expected. And even a mother is expected to have different emotions expressed than the biological father. So for their accounts to align so well, that is a huge red flag, people, right? But Daniel broke that because Daniel is upset that Malehya left. And so he started talking and talking and talking and talking. And next thing, he was so angry, his sadness turned to anger. Sadness that Malehya left him, and the anger, how the hell is she leaving me right now? So that particular anger has caused him to step over the line, to break out of the script and send her a message, so to speak. Hey, you are in it just like me. Whether or not that's true, but that's from.
He brings up a really good point. You are in it just like me. I have felt that Daniel has been speaking and saying the bad things about Malehya to kind of threaten her. That's what I felt. So let's see. These people showing up on these chats may know nothing but our distraction for the adults who were there. Well, she was there. So, is she telling the truth? I don't know. Who said that? I want to know. He's a rug seller and they are acting shady regarding that, not the kids missing. Yeah, I don't know. Daniel forgets the script like Katie. Yes. Wouldn't you think so? Because didn't the dogs go through the house? I mean, I don't know. I think he feels like she left him holding the bag. Yeah, maybe she hid them in the cupboard. But this was Saturday that they found those rugs in the bathroom after Daniel walked out. So, I mean, I don't know. Right? That's true. And the mother did want a judicial order saying right out that she didn't want anybody going into that cupboard. um So yeah, I mean, and is that why Janie can't even see the kids? I mean, and why Daniel only got supervised visitation with Malehya or Meadow, I'm sorry. You think they would have gotten rugs out of that home? They're not going to risk it. I don't know. Sometimes people don't think quick enough. I mean, I don't know. You would think so, but I don't know. Good point, Walla. I kind of feel everything outside of the official press releases are not reliable. Right? Stay out of grandma's cupboard. Explains why we saw Super D. So was those early reports of rugs in the home and in the car true? Yeah, well, they said they did search the home. So, and this part is why I wanted to play this. I was waiting for this. Oh, they're not criminal geniuses. um, you know, yeah, I don't know. Did they not think that their homes were going to be searched? I mean, I don't know. You would think they'd get rugs out before calling 911. You would think so. I don't know. No, she's not hiding cookies in the cupboard. It was either her gun or rugs. Maybe both. Janie's got her gun. That's funny. Yeah, so Kai's case has become a circus, and it's sad because we're no closer to figuring out what happened with Jack and Lily other than rugs may be a real possibility, but we still don't know for sure. Right? I the one thing I'm fairly certain of is that those kids are not in the woods, no matter what the head searcher thinks. Just don't believe those kids are there. Anything after that, I don't know. Moving the rugs out of Daniel's to Janie's, they put them in her cupboard. So did Daniel go into Janie's RV and get some out and go into the bathroom to do some on Saturday? But then he got interrupted because somebody knocked on the door and said they had to go use the bathroom. So he was hovering. I mean, there's so many things. Maybe she had a cupboard full of animals. Well, yeah, that's different than the rugs that they found here, or that they're talking about here. So I think that's the one thing we can all agree on. They're not in the woods. I don't know that they ever were, honestly. Sad, very sad. You know, abduction, Durwood's and Janie's disinformation, I think. I have a hard time believing that. Could it be an abduction because of rugs? I don't know. They would have had to have been pretty big time into rugs in order for that to happen, don't you think? I mean, guys, abducting 2 small babies that you know are probably going to end up being called out as missing. That's a lot to take on. There'd have to be a lot of money involved. The property owner has to take responsibility if rugs are on their property. From what I understand, maybe that is why Justin was upset. Why would he be upset it was his mom's property? I don't know. No, they weren't abducted. See, I have a hard time thinking they were abducted too. Grandma's got a shovel and a gun and rugs. And a dog. What else does Grandma got? And don't call her a granny because she's not a granny. Was he a logger? I don't know, but he's a avid fisherman. Check them potholes for rugs. Could be. I mean, maybe she was trying to hide the rugs in some potholes, but wouldn't you be scared if the scent dogs were around? I mean, they said they tracked the kids to the driveway. Were they really tracking the rugs in the potholes? I don't know, guys. They emphasized on it being rainy and cold. I feel like maybe they were impacted by that weather. That could be. That could be. You're thinking like a criminal now. Where would you put the rugs if you didn't want anybody to find them, right? Oh, guys. Maybe the maybe the scent dogs got disoriented by them pothole rugs. Oh, goodness. Wait, that is a great point of saying it's not your fault, Mom, Janie. Then whose fault is it? I don't know. Up a tree in a nest. Maybe that's how the blanket got there. Oh my God. Where to hide the stash, I know. Oh. That's crazy. All of this, I know we're being silly, but all of it just kind of speaks to how stupid this case is, right? Filling in potholes in the rain, fixing a fence in the rain. Oh my gosh. Having family feuds while while the police are there and they're allegedly searching for the kids that are missing, which is what this whole thing is about. But let's have a couple of family feuds here. I mean, this case is nuts. Here comes a buzz like something from a 1960s music. Super D was flying by and his vape snapped down the tree. Being in drugs, paranoia will set in, and maybe it is down to this fact that they look so shady. That could very well be, especially if the whole family's doing drugs. I have been in that predicament 30 years ago, and a baggie sealed up in the bottom of a can of coffee. Oh my gosh. If they put the jugs in a jar or something, yeah, I think I think the dogs would sniff it out. We always seem to find ways to laugh, don't we, Lori? Right about what you know. The best one is if someone tells you who they are, believe them. Oh, that one. If someone tells or shows you who they are, believe them. Tonight, my grannyism is your true self awaits you on the other side of guilt, shame, and fear. True self awaits you on the other side of guilt, shame, and fear. So, is that what Malehya is feeling? Or even Daniel? Because we both know they know something, right? We know that. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad we made you laugh. I would not want to be the RCMP in this case. No, I would not either. 30 years clean. Gotcha. Good for you, Callie. Good for you. Good for you. But I'm serious, guys. You know, guilt, shame, and fear, they can eat away at you until you're not who you really are. So until you let go of it all, are you going to be able to be the person you were meant to be? I agree with you, Neuro. Daniel puts the shame and his guilt on her. I agree. You're going to be thinking about that pothole all night. Exactly. That explains the need for all the polygraph tests and the truth team. I agree. I agree. The laugh macabre humor, but what can we do? I know. Right. I know. Guys, if we didn't laugh sometimes, we're not laughing because Jack and Lily are gone, right? We're laughing to keep ourselves out of the dark hole that missing children's cases are, right? We have to find some light somehow, some way. Daniel is paranoid. And you guys that talked about, you know, being addicts and you've been clean for a while, the paranoia doesn't leave right away, does it? It sticks around for a while, doesn't it? I mean, so because Daniel could be clean now. You got rugs in your pocket and you don't know what to do with them. Hello, truth and beauty. Well, You know, like those boards that you see on crime shows, they basically stick to the facts, right? And all these little things that you and I don't know whether they're true or, like whether they're disinformation, you know, they can run that down pretty quickly and realize it's disinformation, right? That's why I think that nothing ever came of Darren's claim that the kids are alive and somewhere. Because don't you think RCMP would have found them already? They had hundreds of hours of dash cam video. They would have seen those kids being put in the car and taken away. So, you know, they could run those things down pretty quickly and just continue to stick with what facts that they have and try to work off those. That's what I think they do anyway. Is that a song? Because I don't know it. Yeah, the kids are not stashed. They're not. I think they're, unfortunately, don't like to say it. Breaks my heart to say it, but I don't think they're on this earth any longer. Yeah. If I had to tell you what my thoughts are, I really think they were dumped in the ocean. The rugs are stashed on the potholes in the cupboard. It is a song. Stay out of you potholes. Good. Right. I'm gonna have to look that up. Hi, Tommy. Good to see you. Welcome in. Yes, truth and beauty in the arms of Jesus. Their bodies are no longer. I lost a meth pipe on the side of the road on the back of a Harley once. Whoops. Yes, the case is confusing and unreal. It really is. And, you know, even with, all the talking that the family has been doing and people encouraging them to keep talking, it's not making anything simpler. It's not contributing to finding Jack and Lily, right? It's just not. It's only causing a circus and drama, in my opinion. I agree. I hope they did too. What was in that pothole is my question. Hello, Osprey. Yeah, their whole story doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It's a 1979 song by the Monks. Okay. How come I didn't know the song? Oh my gosh. We agree with you, Tammy. We really do. We still don't have a good solid timeline for Sebastian's case. Aren't you expecting miracles, woman? Yeah. It sounds like a sitcom. Yeah. Sounds like a sitcom. Yes, it does. You know, And I honestly believe that Durwood, Darren, Mr. Bewitched, I think he was fed, a narrative that Daniel and Janie wanted him to put out there. And Janie comes along and chats and kind of adds to it a little bit. That's my opinion. And now you have, and Logan as well. And then now you have, Haley coming out and Cheryl, although they're not being quite as vocal as the rest. So we'll see. I agree with you, JDR. I agree with you. That's the problem. Unless he confesses. Is that why we've got the Duper's Delight smile? Because he knows we'll never know. I mean, seriously, guys, if that's what happened, they took those kids to open body of water. Think about it. They never have to tell the truth. Tammy, the RCMP did come out and say that they were spotted, that it was true. But here's what they said. They said that the children were spotted about 3:15 in the afternoon on the 1st with family. They didn't say what family members, with family. And they didn't say where. So I will believe RCMP about that. But only because they came out to say it. Wonder whatever happened with Himalaya's dad being a tracker and wherever she went. I don't know. Yes. Yep, they said they have CCTV footage. There is a lot of missing information and probably misinformation too. They didn't say that, Neuro, but I mean, they said that they came out and stated that the kids were seen on May 1st, 3:15 in the afternoon in New Glasgow with family. That's all they said. They didn't say where. I'll see if I can find it. I'm looking. Ah. So Tammy, if you have a link, can you send it to my Gmail? That'd be the best way for me to find it. It's right there. Type in CBC Nova Scotia Jack and Lily Sullivan. I am looking. I'm not seeing anything. You don't think they got home that day? I mean, that's a possibility. Yes. If you want me to show it, send me the link. It's like too hard to try to find it when I'm online here. Okay, let me see. All right. I got it from Ginger. Hang on. All right.
Have evidence to suggest that an abduction took place at this time.
Is it something you're still investigating, whether or not they could have been abducted?
So we're exploring all investigative avenues. So on the morning of May 2nd, approximately 10 a.m., our CMP officers received a call about 2 missing children in Lansdowne Station. The information at the time was that they wandered off away from the property. And I can tell you that our officers got at the scene very quickly, and we were monitoring the situation and hopefully finding the children very soon after that.
So it's very quickly. Officers arrive, and then what? You expected, it sounds like you're saying that you'd find the children quickly, or hoped you would anyways. That didn't happen.
So Kayla, what I can tell you, from experience, you look at missing children. I've been involved with a handful of cases since I've been with Strategic Communications. Most oftentimes, the children are located.
Can you tell me about the nature of that?
So we know they were seen in public with loved ones the day prior. The specifics aren't being released at this time.
Okay. And
So they were seen with loved ones the day prior. specifics aren't being released at this time.
So that's the day before. So that's May 1st. But you've specifically asked for video back to April 28th. What's the reason for that?
You know, when you establish a timeline for any investigation, you want to know where these individuals were prior. They may have been in contact with someone that you want to know who that person is. You may see something on that footage that you didn't know about prior to that. You know, we talked about license plates earlier and seeing them from a different angle. You might see someone that's known elsewhere. Maybe it's someone that's known to police. You never know. We really are seeking all investigative avenues in this case.
There have been some complaints that an Amber Alert was
Because it was an eyewitness and police are not believing it. Listen, okay, if it was by video, he would say spotted on video with family. Wait, hold on.
nature of that.
So we know they were seen in public with loved ones the day prior. The specifics aren't being released at this time.
Okay.
All right. There was another video, though, I believe, that I believe there was another video, Tammy, that talked about it. Well, I mean, I hear what you're saying. He didn't say it was an eyewitness. He just said they were seen. That could still mean it was video. It doesn't necessarily mean eyewitness. Yeah. See, I thought I had heard that. I don't know. I don't know. He said the specifics are not being given out at this time. So they're not really telling us anything. But I thought it was this guy talking on another news source. I'll have to find it. That's the only way I can do it. They may have more about the sighting than we know. They may have. They may have. So my Asprey, I'm gonna look. Because you thought it was a woman. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember, but I'm thinking because everybody Asprey, JDR, I think we watched it here, didn't we, guys, at some point? And that's what they said. I mean, we thought that before as well. Either way, the kids are missing. Could they be missing longer? Could. Yes, everything outside of the press releases are just stories. I agree. See, Truth and Beauty, I don't believe that they were sold into trafficking just simply because of where they live. They're out there. I just don't know. Yeah, I mean, I agree. If they were seen, you don't think that they weren't seen by other CCTV cameras? But interesting. I mean, I'm gonna go and look and see where I can find it, Um because I think we watched it here at some point where they actually talked about it. Tammy, with all due respect, you don't know that. You don't know what he's thinking. He doesn't say that. I mean, we've got to stick with facts as much as we can. No, none of us believes anything Dan says, right? I get that. I get why that would stick with you, right? Um, and you could very well be right. I just know we heard it somewhere else and I want to go find out where. It's not going to happen right now, no. Daniel was the only one who said he talked to a coworker there, so it could be lies. Yeah, Daniel said he talked to a coworker there, but we heard it from somewhere else. Probably neuro, probably, which also is suspicious in my opinion. If they were in a big town like, yeah, New Glasgow, a CCTV would have picked them up. But our CMP man says witness only. No, that's not what he said. He said, let's go back.
Can you tell me about the nature of that?
So we know they were seen in public with loved ones the day prior. The specifics aren't being released at this time.
Okay. And so
He didn't say anything about a witness. They were seen in public the day prior. The specifics are not being released. I agree with you. and he said, we know they were last seen. He wouldn't say that on national TV unless he knew that it was a fact. I think, we can't read too much into that. Yeah, not on this one, but I know somewhere else we heard about it. I will find it and I will show it tomorrow. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, guys. We heard it somewhere. We heard somebody say it, and it had to have been on a news station for us to stick with that. So we're going to have to find it. Yeah, I didn't take what Durwood said at all as fact. Yep, I agree. That's all we've been watching basically is news. So well, I promise you guys I will find it or attempt to find it. And we'll compare the two tomorrow. Oh, right. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. I just don't know where we found it or heard it from. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was an interview with Dan. I don't know. I don't know, guys. But I'll find it tomorrow. And we'll see if anything more, has been said by our CMP. All right. So I'll look for that tomorrow. And that's all we have for tonight. I agree with you. Maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow. Daniel said it, but police said it too. I could have sworn police said it too. All right. So be back here tomorrow, 5 Central Time. We will go over what our CMP has said to try to figure this all out so that we have totally accurate information, guys, because, I don't like having any misinformation. And please hit the like button on your way out. Even share the content for me. I would really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. And we'll see you tomorrow night, guys. Have a great night. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.